idiots, complete morons. You are there. You looking sheepishly like a bunch of white. In fact, a hyena is better than all of you. Why do I even? Can you manage my makeup? If I want to interact, that is why I don't go to parties. I don't do anything because the way we reason is laughable. If I want to interact with true Africans, I go to wildlife safari park. At least if I see a zebra, a chimpanzee, those are our true Africans. We can mingle together. Maybe I can understand them better. Because at least if they see danger, they can run. All of you see danger and you keep embracing it. Keep embracing it. Look at Imo State. How many people in Imo State? Over 5 million. Somebody came forth in an election. They pushed him to number 1. Everybody is just like this. Even some bishops want to go and congratulate him. Some people said, hey, don't touch him. Oh. He's our man. Hey, let's move him forward. These are black people. Very backward. Useless. When they kill in America, you say, hey, it's racism. Racism. You are a fool. That's not like racism. They are killing you because of your natural stupidity. By nature, you are stupid as a black person. Do you have running water? Without maybe solar charger and generator, will you be watching me now? Are you not ashamed of yourselves? Are you not ashamed? But UNN has engineering department, electrical engineering, electrical and electricals, all rubbish. Uniport has it. Uniben has it. Everywhere. Electrical and electrical engineering. Whatever that rubbish means, I don't know. No, electrical and electronics. But there is no light. The reason why they sent you to school to go and study electrical engineering is so that when you come out, there will be no more power shortage in the village. That's the reason why. So you don't know. Hey, Zoo alumni.
Worst mistake Buhari ever made was to arrest him. Yes. The worst mistake ever. What is going to happen? I am taking IPAB to Abuja on the 17th of next month in our court case.
We are with you, sir. We are with you.
There will be 2 million people in Abuja.
Yes. I will be there. I will be there. I will be there with you, sir.
I will be there. We take the battle to our enemies.
Yes, sir.
And let me make this very clear to you. You are under oath.
Yes.
And by virtue of that oath, you are under direct order from me.
Yes.
Any day you wake up, you hear I've been arrested, born Nigeria dance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Support both sides. If they give us peace, that is wonderful. If they decide to go down the route of violence, then I can give you this assurance today. Of course, your worldwide listeners and viewers may be able to note this. If they do not give us Biafra, there will be nothing living in that very zoo they call Nigeria. Nothing will survive there, I can assure you. You see, 1967 to 1970 is not 2013 to 2015. We had scientists then, now we have men that can make things happen. Even better than what we had in the late 60s. So that should ring as a warning to all of them that we are not joking. I do not believe in peaceful actualization or whatever rubbish is called. I have never seen where you become free by peaceful means. If you know, you tell me. I am a student of contemporary history. I have never come across anywhere in history books where you get your freedom out of a peaceful process. It's never happened.
If we abandon Chukwukika Biama in truth and honesty, please goodbye to Biafra. Biafra had in the pure years. You'll be only running around in circles. You can never come. It is the kingdom of heaven itself. You want to do something that is happening in heaven, on earth. for mankind to see and testify to the gospel. You have to be of the courage. You have to be without fear in the face of your enemies. If you are without fear before your enemies will run from you. Rather than you running from them, your enemies will run from you. If you speak the truth always, regardless of the consequences, lies will run from you. You must protect those who cannot protect themselves, not to steal from them. I repeat, it is your job as a child of heaven, IPOB family member, to protect those who cannot protect themselves. That is your job. Not to kidnap them, not to rob them. You must be of good conduct. That's Chiku Okike Abia left. If these conditions are not in place, Biafra will not come. And talk me like an auntie. Biafra Gahabia. Ana Akatiana. Ana Agotiano. Going to a native doctor, Dibianyanzu, cannot save you. If you want Biafra, Ana Emetian or Deshi, it doesn't work. We don't believe in that rubbish. Tupokabiam is our shoe and our guide. We don't commune with darkness. I am warning all 17 commanders, all our commanders, we don't commune with the devil. We don't do Odeshi. We believe in the protection that Chukwukikabiama can offer. The weapon you need to protect yourself is your gun and your ammunition. We don't commune with spirit. It's social.
Biafra must come. And when Biafra does come, everybody will be free. If Biafra is not free, none of you is going to be free. And that is why I have said it before and allow me to repeat. We have come to set all of you free. And if you allow this nonsense to continue, you'll be sunk. If you have not gotten your Somali visa, go and get it now. Because the zoo is gone. And the hell has arrived.
Yes, I want to welcome you to this live broadcast, a day after our transparency group, official unveiling of the Accountability and Transparency group happened yesterday. And today is the first broadcast after the official unveiling and public presentation of Accountability Transparency Group. I want to welcome you, and I want to say thank you for joining wherever you're watching from. Today is the first day of the new week, according to the Gregorian calendar, which we operate. And of course, today is the 6th day of August 2023. Thank you for joining in. My name is Kelechi Ambrose, as always, hosting and your humble servant, under Mazin and the Kano here, and of course, hosting this program on the platform of Biafra Global Network. I want to encourage you too, as you join in, please share this program on all your social media platforms. We know some people are busy right now. There was no notification of the broadcast, but I want to welcome you all at the same time and say also welcome others. Thank you. Well done, dear brother. Thank you for joining. And of course, those of you watching, wherever you're watching from, it's my pleasure having you and hosting you today. On behalf of the Accountability and Transparency Group, I say welcome. And anytime you see me here, I'm not here on my own. I am here under the auspices of the Accountability and Transparency Group. I'm sent to do the job under the auspices of the Accountability and Transparency Group. And every member of the Accountability and Transparency Group is backing me up and representing and speaking here. That doesn't mean that I am their spokesperson. No, I am only speaking through this media platform, for the Accountability and Transparency Group. Remember, we have told you several times, we don't have a leader. Only leader we have is Mazin Namdekano, and every other person, including me and every other person you see come up wherever we're publicizing and broadcasting on all our platforms, we're doing the job on behalf of the group. We are not leading the group. We don't have such, because we understand what it takes to do things differently and have a brand new agenda and that will help people achieve. Whenever you are doing a thing and you are in a very good structured platform or design, you would always get results. And that is the need. That is the need that brought about the accountability group and accountability and transparency group. And thank God, yesterday we had a successful launching, that is unveiling and public presentation of the group to you. If you are not aware of that, please, you can go back to yesterday's broadcast. You will see it live there, and you can go also on the broadcast of other members of the Accountability and Transparency Group, Madam Barbara, Papa Ejima, Sonny Wede, Mirugo, and and so many other people. Of course, I want to go to her platform. You'll see the publication of yesterday's broadcast. We want to welcome you. I'll say we, because I'm representing the group here right now, speaking on behalf of the group here right now. And we want to welcome you to this program a day after you might go and get information about. Most of you might want to get further information. Sorry for the network. I can see the fluctuating network, here. Okay, because I discovered yesterday that there were some breaks along the line of the public presentation, so some parts didn't really come out clear. Time yesterday, I want you to understand that whenever there's a need for achieving results, there's a need for a strategy. You find yourself doing things the same way and yet there's no result, no good result. The expectation is not as it's supposed to be. To redesign, to reconfigure, and then get yourself on in a new approach to carrying out activities. When you have the fluctuation again, the network fluctuation, I can see the network giving some problems here, but of course, okay, it's okay now. Okay, now I'm going to be speaking here. What's next after the launching of the Accountability and Transparency Group? Most of you will be asking, what then after that? What next? This is the time work have started. This is the time for work to start, and work has begun in earnest. Now, the first thing we are doing in the design, because it is stage by stage, step by step. The first step here is to engage you. Now, engaging you means making you understand the structure and then explaining the details, the structure to you, so that you will be able to understand where you come in. Remember, Accountability and Transparency Group, ATG, which is also known as the registered name Eastern Sun, does not have a face, a structure, or a system without you, which means that whatever we have set as structure need you to fit into it for it to be conspicuous. That is, for it to make sense. That's what it means, or for it to be seen and appreciated. So being conspicuous is to be revealed, or to be illuminated, or to be projected, being conspicuous. Now, for us to really make a headway, you see, this Biafra project is not about me. It's not about you alone, but it's about us. So the setting up of the Accountability and Transparency Group is not for me, it's not for you, but for us. So if you think that you have opened launched your Accountability and Transparency Group, putting the word there, is malapropos. That means it's not appropriate. Because if you are going to talk about it, you're going to talk about us. So Opening this thing is for us to work, not for me to show myself, not for you to show yourself, but for us to come together and begin to work. Now we have launched that platform that is strictly sitting on the platter of truth, strictly connected to the gospel of truth, strictly designed by the concept and the narrative of truth. Accountability, transparency is all about truth. And I want to remind you, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, without truth, honesty, we are not going to achieve Biafra in the next trillion years. I want to remind you this, because sometimes we chase after things without understanding the conditions. If you don't consider the conditions for Biafra, you would keep talking about Biafra for the next trillion years and you will not achieve it. That is why you see that there have been so much, noise about this whole thing, so much brouhaha, so much antagonism, acrimonies, and all of that, including the positive side, so much expectations, so much anticipation without result. We keep finding ourselves expecting, but yet not seeing it closer, because the more you look at it and feel it is closer, the more you see that people are destroying it. You know why? Truth has not taken its grip, has not taken its root, has not become the fundamental, the basis. This gave birth to Accountability and Transparency Group. This gave birth to the Transparency Accountability Group, ATG. Now, on Saturday, we're going to open the lines. On Saturday, that means the next 6 days or so, we're going to open the lines for calls so that those who have questions to ask will ask their questions. Those who want to have explanation, those who want to be part of it but don't know how to go about it, you will get your questions answered. I tell you, Accountability and Transparency Group has designed a very modern, innovative program that will help us succeed. And no success will come except you begin to embrace this. Let me tell you, to achieve Biafra is very simple. It just takes you and I to come together to do the right thing. It just takes you and I to do the right thing. Thank you so much, Papa Ejima. Good to have you here. We must continue to fight for our freedom and for the release of Ohamadike, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, all hail Biafra. He said, and he will be released very soon. Chukwukike is on the throne and is in charge. We must work towards it and ensure that he comes out to meet us. The Accountability and Transparency Group has been designed. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will come on the platter of the Accountability and Transparency Group, and then we're going to work with him to achieve results. He's the leader, and we submit ourselves to his leadership, and we'll do everything to sustain his legacy. Remember, I told us the other time that we are watchers. That means we watch over what has been given to us. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has committed so many things to us from Chukwukike that Chukwukike gave to him, and he has given these things to us. And now our responsibility is to watch over these things. So we create innovative brands to watch over these things. Accountability and Transparency Group is an innovative brand. Innovation means up to date. Innovation means creating new designs. Innovation means bringing up ideas that will sustain the legacy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Accountability and Transparency Group is a unique idea of a critical dimension to preserve what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu represents. Now, today I'm going to be taking you through one part of Accountability and Transparency Group that warrants you and I to be well stabilized, to be well seated, to be well grounded, so that we can move on with speed. The speed we're going to achieve is going to come from the structure we have. Nothing stands without structure. Today, I'm looking critically at structure. What's next after the launching of the Accountability and Transparency Group? Now, what's next is that we are going to work together. You and I are going to work together. But for us to do that, we're going to begin with how we are structured. How we are structured. Today, I'm going to go on the website. Remember, I told you that the website is work in progress. You are going to begin to see fine, beautiful. Remember, the website was just began. The website work on the website began on Monday, and it was finished Friday. In 4 days, the website was on. We had 2 websites that were sabotaged. Not so many things went wrong. For 4 months, we were struggling, but God helped us. We decided to go underground and take something quickly. And within 4 days, we had it. That tells you that the fight against the truth is so much very heavy. So heavy. Whenever you want to establish anything good and truthful, the forces of darkness comes against it. When we announced, now let me tell you something. I was telling you guys the other time that there's so many diabolic things going on in this Biafra project. Some people who are believing in the wrongs they are under spell. They are not doing it because they want to do it, but because the spell, if you are not guarded, if you don't guard your heart with all due diligence, you would discover that your heart would be manipulated by the forces that are against Biafra. The forces against Biafra are so many diabolic programs going on, so many things, spell cast here and there, and the gullible, those who are not strong in their spirit, are captured, are hoodwinked, are manipulated, are caught by the spell from all these shrines. So many things going on. Shrines to kill people, shrines to put people under bondage, shrines to cut, to destroy the project. So many, including Fulani shrines, including the Nigeria construct, the shrine of the British Empire. You don't know that there's a shrine of the British Empire. You thought that the British Empire succeeded just for nothing, just without nothing. You thought they succeeded without any kind of spiritual intervention for them. There were spiritual fights, spiritual programs that the British came into the contraption with. That is why, because they used that to set division and to cause our people to sabotage themselves. That was why the British Empire was successful against the people of Biafra, or our nation as Igbos. That was why Oduduwa nation was conquered. That was why Igbo nation was conquered. That was why other nations were conquered, because they sponsored manipulation within, and people started patronizing RC and other things to destroy themselves. That is how the British were able to conquer us. That is why they were able to carry shrine. They carry some images and some things that that we have away. That is why we saw them succeed over us. Today we are struggling. Today they have so much planted this hate, this evil, this sabotage, this blackmail within us, to the point where now it has become a critical problem. So we ourselves are destroying ourselves. Now I'm going to go straight to today's program. We're going to be looking at structure, but before we're going to go on critically on the structure, let me open the website again for us to see. Accountability and Transparency Group. I want to open the website so that the people can look at it again. Now, remember, we're going to be looking at the structure thing. And of course, the structure thing is very, very important. Where we are moving, how do we move? We're going to be moving with the structure. First, you have to understand what we represent and how we represent ourselves and all of that. I'm going to go straight to the structure end of the website. I know that you have seen this yesterday, and some of you also can still see it. You go to www.Eastern Sunrise, everything together, www.easternsunrise.org. Eastern Sunrise. Remember, the sun rises from the east. Even if we say sun rises anyways, we know that it is Earth that goes around the sun. So it is actually, the sun doesn't go around the Earth. The Earth goes around the sun. Am I correct? So which means that it is actually the Earth that is rising, along the eastern side of the sun, and all of that. So, but anyways, that's what we are used to. So Accountability and Transparency Group, you have entered. Once you open the website, you'll see you just entered the Eastern Sunrise territory, the territory of the Eastern Sunrise, of the sun rising to illuminate the world and the globe, and wealth house of the globe. Now, I want you to understand this. The Biafra nation is the wealth house of the globe. So much mineral resources, natural resources taken from Biafra land. So much taken from Biafra land. That is why they don't want us to be free. That is why they are fighting our freedom. That is why we must now begin to look inwards and do the right thing so that we don't met. Every human deserves a life of purposeful fulfillment, not just fulfillment that is emotional. Money to sabotage a program can never be satisfied, because what they seek after is, when you sabotage Biafra, look for selfish interest, you will only to get true satisfaction in life is to fulfill purpose. When you have purposeful fulfillment, truly satisfied or fulfilled as a people is to get Biafra, because Biafra is the purpose that Chukwokike has given to us, to satisfaction or your satisfaction in life or fulfilling your purpose without having your location restored, your sovereignty achieved, and all of that. Is why it is very, very critical. So you can understand when we say we believe every human deserves of purposeful fulfillment, you know what we're about. So, but let's straight this website one after the other. From the structure, we go to the programs, the project itself. So the first thing we're doing, looking at, is the structure. Structure, very, very important, because before you talk about execution of projects, you must talk about the structure. That means who we are, what we are, and all of that. You must talk about the structure. I can see the network is giving me some problems here. You must talk about the structure before you begin to talk about the projects. Every project runs on a structure. When the structure is not well set, that project you want to achieve, restoring Biafra, will not be achieved. Getting Biafra land to be developed will not be achieved. Whatever we want to do in Biafra land, if we don't set our structure aright, we are not going to get the headway. And structure is evident in truth. Structure means setting the truth in perspective. That means putting truth in perspective. Structure means setting truth in perspective. Yes, Ego, I've seen it. Network problem. Yes. I don't know if people can hear me well now. I believe you can hear me now. So setting structure is very, very important. And structure is the basis for fulfillment, for achievement. That is why before God put us on earth to tell us to increase and multiply and replenish the earth and to subdue the earth, he first set a structure. He set the earth. He gave everything that is needed in the earth. He made the sun. He made the moon. He made everything. He set everything aright. And then he puts us in the prepared structure so that we can grow in the structure. The Biafra project needs structure. If we don't have structure, we will be running around in circles. And let me tell you what builds structure. Truth. When you want to build a house, what gives you the house that you want is truth. How? When you imagine the kind of house you want, that imagination is the truth about what you want to get. That imagination gives you a picture of what you want to build, the kind of house you want to build. It is through your imagination that the architect or whoever would design and draw out and figure out the building and give it a design pictorially, and then look at it. You say, yes, this is the kind of house I want. Now, it is the truth about what is on your mind that is interpreted on paper, that when you look at it, you say, yes, this is what I want. So if we don't look at our structure as a people, forget it. Do you know why we are having killings? Do you know why we are having so many things going wrong? Do you know why we have so divided camp? Do you know why Mazen Amkano could be kidnapped and extraordinarily renditioned? Do you know why people can sabotage these things? Do you know why somebody can sell Mazen Amkano? It is because they have not believed in Biafra. And to believe in Biafra, you must believe in a structure that is void of sabotage, that is void of criminality, that is void of personal aggrandizement, that is void of selfish ends, that is void of anything corruptible or corrupted. When you say void of, that means it that does not have all of this stuff. That is what we seek. See, we didn't just come up to just set up the accountability and transparency group because we want to have another group, in Biafra. No, it is not another group. It is the sustaining power of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. So we are still IPOB, but we have a structure. The structure is what the brand we have created called Accountability and Transparency Group represents. Without a truthful good material for a building, the foundation will be so bad and it will affect the building. We need a good material. Thank you so much, Ego, for that. That is what Accountability and Transparency Group. Accountability and Transparency Group represents the material of truth. It is that material of truth that will set this structure called Biafra. Now, most of us have problems with the name Biafra. But of course, we are not saying that our name must be Biafra. But we know that we are fighting for our freedom under the auspices of the name Biafra. So many things have gone wrong. But of course, when we get our freedom, we will now sit down. Do we want to continue with the name Biafra, or want to change the name? This is where most of us got it wrong. Some people began to talk about it. Some people begin to fight themselves rather than looking at the freedom first. The name is not the issue, because when we are free, we can now discuss the issue of the name and think of what we want to bear. Names, I can change. In fact, the name I was bearing when I was born, it's not the name I'm bearing now, because I decided to change it based on understanding now. The surname I have now, I decided to change it. I decided to take my father's direct name rather than the family name to become my name, my surname, my name also. I changed it. So it is critical that based on understanding, at a point, when people come to a point, they begin to reason, they say, okay, let's change this, let's change that. But those changes are not fundamental, are not necessary or needed if you have not gotten the basis of what you want to achieve. When you achieve it, when we achieve Biafra, when we achieve our freedom, when we achieve our sovereignty, we can now begin to talk about the change of name. Anyways, for now, let's go to the structure issue now. Now, please take note. Oh, this stuff has to be removed. I think the guy who designed the stuff didn't remove this part. It was an instruction to him. Take note that the organization draft considers the leadership and structural hierarchy. Please take note of the organizational graph as you draft the organogram. Now, this is an instruction given to him on what to do, but of course, he put it here, thinking it is part of what should be on the website. Anyways, let's go. Now, look at it critically. If you look at this organizational structure, it spells of a very simple the executive committee is the first when and the ladder of hierarchy, it is the first base. Now, let me tell you something about that the executive committee has control over the general or other departments. It only means that the clear that you would understand that the approach we're using and the process we're adopting does not give anybody any kind of manipulate or to cause of control, exert personal control over the project itself. Yes, I can see I have network problem. I don't know why the network signal is beginning to mess up, but I think it's okay now somehow. Akwanwa, good to have you. Thank you so much. Keep it up, Mwachineke. Thank you so much. Shalom to you too. I appreciate you for joining. Expecting your message, and you are here. Good to have you. I've not seen Edith Nedu for a while. It's been a long time. I don't know. I don't know. It's a long time. It's a long time. It's a long time. All right. Let's go on. Now, as I was saying, remember we said we have no leader. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is our leader. We have no other person who is a leader. And two, that nobody controls the Accountability and Transparency Group. Accountability and Transparency Group is controlled by its rules. It's controlled by its functions. That means everything you see about Accountability and Transparency Group is defined by its functions. Every department, every committee is determined by the functions, not by somebody superimposing or controlling those departments and committees. So departments and committees are only there for the system to be controlled and not for anybody to control the system. So you see the way we did this thing, because we have come to understand that when you allow control, giving people specific powers to think that they can control things, they make mistakes. And those mistakes can cause so much havoc. Now, when you give majority of the time, when you give control to people, they abuse it. Thank God for the life of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In spite of the fact that he had control about so many things, he didn't abuse it. He still had to set an organizational structure. But the people who were coming in were abusing it. And they kept Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to a corner, compressed him to a corner, and frustrated him that at a point he was struggling. Because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu gave them positions that helped them or made them control the system, so that they now put him in a tight corner. That was the mistake. But thank God for the life of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He was able to still manage these things. But yet when they saw that he was not conforming to what they want, they sold him. Now we have seen the lapses and the mistakes that have come with that. So now we don't want to make this thing have a particular, or we don't want to make it rest on a particular person's shoulder, so that nobody will look for the person they are going to kidnap or sell to the Nigeria contraption. When you understand that the Accountability and Transparency Group does not rest on my shoulder, does not rest on the shoulder of Ego, does not rest on the shoulder of Mirugo, does not rest on the shoulder of Papa Ejima, does not rest on the shoulder of Barbara, does not rest on the shoulder of Sonny Mwede, does not rest on the shoulder of Kingsley or Kings, does not rest on the shoulder of Chizaram, does not rest on the shoulder of name it, the people that make up, does not rest on the shoulder of Akwanwa, does not rest on the shoulder of anybody who is part of the Accountability and Transparency Group, including you watching. When you understand that this project does not rest on your shoulder, you don't determine it, you don't control it, you will discover that you would want to work with other people to make it work. And so nobody would look for you personally to come and kidnap you. When they kidnap you or sell you, the whole thing goes down. If you take me away today, the Accountability and Transparency Group will continue. If you take any other person who is a member now, the group continues. That is the uniqueness of what we have designed. That is the uniqueness. So that by the time Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes in and the system is working and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now comes into it, and begin to look at what the system is doing and begin to implement the ideas based on the fact that intellectuals, professionals have come in, they are now rubbing minds and they're now taking decisions together. When they take the decisions, they submit the decisions to Mazen Namekano. Mazen Namekano now sees that these decisions were taken by people who are professionals and people who reason together, not from one person who tells him what to do, but from a group of people deciding together and then informing him. And then he now says, yes, for them to decide on this, they have really looked at it critically and now it is good to go. So at that point in time now, people will now know that if you want to kidnap Mazen Namekano, it will be a waste of time because he's not the one running the show. The group is now running the show, not an individual. They look at the group, they look at the executive committee, they look at the secretariat, they look at the advisory board, they look at the security board, they look at other committees like the welfare department, the finance, audit, accounting department, education and rehabilitation. They look at legal arbitration. They look at every of the committee and groups. As committee and department, and they see that nobody specifically controls these things. Rather, the system controls itself, and everybody is working in the system. Nobody will look for anybody to kidnap or to sell, because when you do that, you are only just harming yourself, because the group continues. And of course, there will be no confusion. The reason why Simon was, I have to mention Simon here. The reason why people began to go towards Simon was because there was a system that didn't have a control, but rather there was a system that people were controlling. So when Mazen Namekano was taken away, the people now felt empty and in a way that nobody, no individual can claim control. No individual can say this individual can say they control the system. No individual. No individual. So now let me explain. By tomorrow, I'm going to now begin to explain in details the functions of each of these departments and committees, their functions, so that when you are coming in, you know where to function, you know how we operate, you know how we run. When you come in, you know you're coming. My network, sorry about that. It cut me off suddenly, but oh my, why is the network misbehaving today? Why is the network signal misbehaving today? Now, from tomorrow, I'm going to begin to explain in details, taking the committees, taking the departments and explaining them to you, and then so that you can understand, and the boards, of course, board, going to explain them to you so that you begin to understand what we're doing and how these things run. So tomorrow is going to be very, very effective. We'll begin to take them one after the other and explain, so that as you come in, you'll begin to know where you want to function. You begin to know how you want to function. You begin to know who you're. Then you begin to stop your ideas. You'll know that you're at liberty to bring your ideas and nobody can stop your ideas. When you bring your ideas, everybody deliberates on the idea, and then when it is accepted by everybody, it's by superior arguments and reasoning, we now come to a conclusion. to join us. That to see that we do the right thing. So you can now go on your own, study the website, and by tomorrow I'm going to begin to open your eyes to the you can now do also that understand. You can now understand what we're doing. I'll be taking and explaining them one after the other so that we all we're doing, because we are accountable and transparent. We have to make you understand what you're coming in and how we're functioning. You know how the finance department functions. You know how the other departments function. And then the committees, how they function. So it is very, very important that we do all of this stuff and then open your minds and then you come in. So please, we are welcoming you into the Accountability and Transparency Group. All you need to do, let me go back on the website so that you know where to join in from. If you have remember, we are still building the membership portal and all of that. So very soon you're going to have that. So when you go to the website, you click on contact. When you click on contact, you will see the numbers to call in or the email info@easternsunrise.org, info@easternsunrise.org. You can see that, and then you can send a message to us through that email, or you can input your name here. Once you input your name here, then once you input your name, you can also input your email, and then you can also input you can also send a message, whatever thing, you just type your message there, whatever message you want to send. Is it a message that you want to join the group? You want to tell us that you want to join the group, or you want to tell us that you want to, you want to give ideas, or whatever thing you want to say, you want to join the group, or whatever thing you want to say, you want to know more about us or about the group, and you want to, whatever idea and all of that you want to type, or whatever thing information you want to give to us, you type it there, and then you click submit. You see the button, the submit button here, and the dark button here, submit. Once you do that, you just click the submit button and it opens it up. It sends your information, and then we can now receive it. So that is how to go about it. So that is it. So, but you can also send email through this information. If you don't want to go that way, just type info@easternsunrise.org, and our membership portal will soon be out, and then you can now begin to work very, very effectively with that, and then you begin to now join us in that regard. By the time we are through with the membership portal, you'll begin to see that you now begin to come in, and then we're going to group you group by group by your community. If you are from Owerri, for instance, you're going to meet other people from Owerri in that particular committee or in that particular community, in that membership platform. And then you begin to discuss together with those in Owerri, and then you begin to discuss the kind of projects that Accountability and Transparency Group has to design in that area. If it is farming, if it is hospital, if it's whatever, when you plan it together, and then you also agree in that Owerri axis, where do you want that hospital to be, so that it will take care of the needs of the people medically, or where do you want that farm to be, or whatever thing you want to be, the security situation over there. We now begin to, that's how we're doing it. So every committee will have their own community on the membership portal, where you now discuss, you now set up a group of people within you who will represent the whole community to discuss professionally on the projects that want to go on there, how to be executed, what the ratio, different things. That, let me not open some details here for now. There are so many things we're doing. There are so many things. Accountability and Transparency Group is full of intelligent people, and so we are going to work intelligently to develop our nation and then to free ourselves. Mazi Nnamdi is our first target to be released, and then we free ourselves. I want to thank you all for joining, and we'll also please share this broadcast on all your social media platforms, and then let people be part of it and hear the message. Thank you so much. I want to appreciate you, and I say thank you, and God bless you very good. The unveiling was yesterday, and from today we're now going to serious business, so we don't have time for distractions. We come and speak the real thing that we want to happen, and we discuss things that are fundamental. On Saturday, which is I think Saturday should be 12th or so. Saturday we shall have opened the lines for calls and interaction. It's a day of Nugget conference, so we'll open up the calls and the lines for calls to come in, and we'll discuss extensively. This is the time to be more professional, more mature in our freedom fighting, not all these childish bragado tactics, mafioso programs and mafioso way of behaving, or these tactics of occultic operations, childish and Agbero style. No, we are now professional. We're going professional. We're going to be doing our things like mature people. We now begin to reason. That is what Mazin American has taught us. We're going to reason, and then we're going to get results. Thank you all. I appreciate you. And I say thank you for watching. Share this program on all your social media platforms. Also subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed. At the same time, like this video and share. You have to like it first and then share on all your social media platforms. And my name is Kelechi Ambrose, and this is BIAFRA Global Network, and always will be here. Let this week be fruitful for you. Let this week be a week of blessing. Let this week be a week of favor. Let this week produce for you according to your heart desires. Let this week be the best for you since you were born. Thank you, and God bless you. Very good.